Old school grandparents must adapt to 21st century caregiving when their 3 grandchildren unexpectedly become part of their lives. Hello there to everyone in the land of cyberspace, and thank you once again for tuning into my favorite website, RealScreenReviews.com, and my favorite YouTube channel, We Live Film. I am movie critic Nick Iacobucci, and our next movie review is Parental Guidance. This comedy opened with a bunch of other mainstream films on Christmas Day 2012, and it stars one of Hollywood's great comics, Billy Crystal, one of my all-time favorite performers, Bette Midler, Academy Award winner Marissa Tomei, and Bailee Madison. This film comes to us from director Andy Fickman, who has directed Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson twice in both The Game Plan and Race to Witch Mountain, as well as the dreadful You Again from 2010. He now puts together a remarkable comedic ensemble in hopes of redeeming himself after the misfire known as You Again. This tale tells of Artie and Diane Decker, normal and everyday average grandparents that are called on by their daughter to help take care of their 3 grandchildren for a spot of time. Shortly into this new way of life, Diane and Artie soon get a crash course in parenting methods of the 21st century, and just keeping up with the iPhones, the iPods, and the iJinks of these 3 kids is a little overwhelming for them. Before too long, their old-school caregiving explosively clashes with the always-on-the-go lifestyle of the teenagers of 2012, and soon some new, unexpected, and shall we say, different parenting styles will be coming this Christmas. Well, people, when you're watching Parental Guidance, you're going to sit back and say to yourself, you know, I swear that I've seen this movie before. Now, the reason that you're going to be saying that is because you have seen this movie before, probably like 15 times or so. This movie is a lot like the very recent The Guilt Trip with Seth Rogen and Barbra Streisand. Both are pretty much standard formula films with a side order of family fun. I will say, however, that I enjoyed The Guilt Trip much more than Parental Guidance because that film had many more moments of true sincerity, and Parental Guidance just felt sitcom-y to me most of the time. I don't know if sitcom-y is a word, but I think it is because I just said it was. Now, from a technical aspect, this family comedy is lackluster as well. The score is so basic and droll that it adds nothing to the film emotionally. A television composer like Mark Snow has it all over this guy. Then I couldn't even believe that the Academy Award-winning cinematographer of Dances with Wolves was the director of photography on Parental Guidance. This movie looks so basic and unoriginal that I thought for sure that it had to have come from a first-time cinematographer. Then the writers certainly had the potential to piece together something of quality, but instead chose to spoon-feed us cliched humor and overused jokes. Being forced out of a job, being technologically challenged, and most of all, bathroom humor hardly qualifies as something new and different at the cinema. Was Vin Diesel's The Pacifier a great movie? No, it wasn't. It was, however, a very funny comedy most of the time, and Parental Guidance simply wasn't. Now, I attribute most of this blame to the direction, or lack thereof, by Andy Fickman. He pieces together choppy segments of an uneven narrative, and in the process delivers not one worthy arc to any of the characters or plot points. I know that I'm really beating up this one, but I will say that it wasn't the absolute bottom of the barrel. I did laugh, and the film did have some funny moments here and there are instances of heart and compassion as well. There is also both physical and spoken moments of humor that work, and bringing most of these positive moments are the leads of Billy Crystal and Bette Midler. I will say that watching Billy Crystal struggle with anything modern was kind of funny, and Bette Midler is and always has been one of my all-time favorites. She too very much chewed the scenery and indulged in some parts of the film, but still had enough left over for her to try and do her best to shine in some other would-be tender moments of the story. However, tip your hat to Bailee Madison, who plays the daughter. I think Harper is her name. I'm not sure, I could be wrong on that one. She gained recognition for her debut in the Coen brothers' True Grit, and once again confidently flexes acting muscles, proving to all of us that the first time around was absolutely no fluke. My biggest issue, however, with Parental Guidance was that I just didn't believe this story or these people. I didn't believe this father-daughter story, and I basically didn't believe anything that really, none of the film felt real to me at all. Taking it a step further, this phony feel totally encompassed the entire feature, and I just kept thinking that this whole thing would have worked better as a Saturday Night Live skit. That would have been about 5 minutes instead of an hour and 45 minutes. Because at an hour and 45 minutes, Parental Guidance suffers from predictability, cautiousness, and plain old being generic. It really very much is a shame because the 2 leads worked well together, but unfortunately they really didn't have anything to work with. This movie is labeled a family comedy, but I don't think that really matters because the film is just so empty and it just lacks all kinds of substance that you really can't label it anything at all. You knew exactly what every character was going to do and how the movie was going to end before it was even close, and most of the film's best moments were in the 2.5-minute trailer. Nick's Real Screen Review is a very weak 1 1/2 stars out of 4, and that's for the return of Billy Crystal to the big screen in Parental Guidance. Well, I'm afraid that's all the time that I have today. If you've enjoyed this review, please click like below and give me a thumbs up, or subscribe to Real Screen Reviews and We Live Film if you haven't yet already. I'm sure that I'll be returning soon enough with more movie and trailer reviews, and until then, remember people, this is Nick Iacobucci saying I'm not always right, but only when it comes to the movies, and thank you for your attention.